On you some of them. Go to the first line, the last two words on page 71, say, we hope. We hope what? When? See, that God can remove whatever self-will has blocked you off from. Okay, so see, if all of this is real new to you, see, and confuses you a little bit, or you don't really understand it, it's all right. See, I just want to show you some of the stuff. So start to be an open mind, have an open mind, so that you can find out. See, as we go through. See, if you aren't convinced right at this moment, it's okay. See, don't worry about it. See, we're all here, see, to carry a message of recovery, see, to each other. This is called 12-step work. See, and an alcoholic has to be convinced. See, and so this whole, everything we find in the front of the book here, see, is all about convincing us, see, to do something. See, called take action, seek a very specific result. Okay. So these are just things that you pick up as you go along. So let's go back to forward to the first edition. Middle of that first paragraph, it says, we think this account of our experiences will help everyone to better understand the alcoholic. See, an experience means something that you've lived through, see, yourself. Some of you may have an experience that I've had a few times in my life, and that's I'm sitting in an office or somewhere, and there's some guy or some woman, see, who's got 17 degrees. See, they're a certified alcoholism counselor, and they're a shrink, and they're this, and they're that. See, and they're looking at me, and they got these big cow eyes. See, and they're saying, tell me how you feel. Tell me how you really feel. We got to deal with this. See, I understand. See, and I'm sitting there looking at them, and I'm going, no, you don't. See, you don't have a clue. See, where I've been. You ain't been where I've been. See, but I might sit there and do that with a smile on my face and play the game with them. See, but inside, no way. See, and why is that? See, because any alcoholic, see, knows if they're talking to another alcoholic who knows what they're talking about. See, and we don't do well with shrinks and counselors and people who are judging us and, you know, claiming they're not and all that kind of stuff. Anybody got any experience of that? See, lying to the shrink and the counselor and all that? Yeah, see, so, see, the basis of recovery in Alcoholics Anonymous is one alcoholic who's had the experience, see, not only of drinking and being sick, but of having recovered. See, talking to another alcoholic who hasn't had that experience. Okay, see, if you got two alcoholics, see, who are unrecovered, see, then you got no recovery going on, no matter what they talk about. See, and in some of our groups, you know, we got 20 and 30 people who are unrecovered, see, thinking they're recovered. See, you got 40 unrecovered people, no messages going on. See, it's just a bunch of unrecovered talk going on. See, so we need to share our experience, see, and that's why the book was written, was to share the experience of people, see, not who learned it at Harvard Medical School or Sacramento State. See, these are not people with medical degrees and psychological degrees and all that kind of stuff. These are people who've been around the same block you've been around. See, whether you're a man or a woman, see, whether you've been to jail, not been to jail, whether you've ever been arrested or not been arrested, none of that makes any difference. See, we're talking about the underlying disease that goes on in all of us. Okay, and you'll see that as we go on. Next sentence. Many, see, do not comprehend. Comprehend means get it. That the alcoholic is what? Are you open-minded, see, to finding out that you may be very sick? See, even though you're sitting here today. See, ask yourself, am I open-minded to finding that out? See, what's the first word of this sentence? Look around the room. See what percentage of us would constitute many in this group? 80%, 90%, 60%? See, many don't get it. See, anybody who's been around a few years in Alcoholics Anonymous will tell you, see, that about 9 out of 10 of the people who come into AA return to drinking. See, anybody whose eyes are open that has been around AA, go talk to the old-timers that you know. See, and ask them, how many people actually do stay sober? There are a couple of guys who go around the country named Joe and Charlie. Anybody ever heard of Joe and Charlie in their big book seminars? See, they wander around. They've both been sober about 7,000 years each. See, and what they say, they do book studies with groups of 700 people, 900 people, 2,000, stuff like that. See, and they sit up there and they say they travel around the country and literally around the world teaching the big book to people in Alcoholics Anonymous. And their experience is, you know, somewhere around 5 to 8, 9% of the people who come in and stay here work the steps. Very low percentage of us stay sober. So that's just once again, don't believe me, go check that out for yourself. See, if you've been around here for a while, see, where are all the people who were here when you came in? See, you ever notice this thing called attrition, see, that happens? See, very few people, see, who come into Alcoholics Anonymous stay sober. Okay? Why is that? You never comprehend, you don't comprehend unless you investigate, see, that the alcoholic is in a pine box, a very sick person. Okay, so these are things we need to be open-minded to. Okay, last sentence. And besides, we are sure that our way of living, and what you're going to find out, see, as you study the book, is that the way of living in Alcoholics Anonymous, see, has got nothing to do with that stuff that you see on the board over there, all the activities and the conventions, see, and the groups and the workshops. See, that's not what the book says about recovery, see, as a way of life. See, those things are good and they have a function and all that, see, but they are not, see, the AA way of living, see, and yet many of us think that they are. See, the AA way of living is a life based on spiritual principles. Okay, see, and we need to come to an understanding of that. How do we understand that? See how this word pops up? In order to investigate, you need an open mind. Yeah, see, don't believe me. Check it out for yourself. Okay, so besides, we're sure that our way of living has its advantages for all. And another way of looking at that is there are a couple hundred programs out there in the world today. There are things like Narcotics Anonymous, Cocaine Anonymous, Sex Anonymous, Debtors Anonymous, 200 of those anonymous groups. See, and they have all been based on the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. See, and almost all of them, it's really interesting, see, almost all of them call themselves self-help groups. See, and they all claim AA as its source. See, in these days, if you write to our central office, see, AA will send you some information that says that we are a self-help group. See? Says who? See? When did we become a self-help group? See? What's step one? Self-help? Very interesting. So that's just something you might be interested in and take a look at for yourself. Okay, now what we're going to do, 23, XXIII, and this is the first page of the doctor's opinion. Doing all right? Cool. Okay, the first thing we want to look at is the word opinion. Even the chapter titles in this book are pretty interesting, contain some information if we'll take a look. This is the doctor's opinion. All right, now the word opinion has two definitions. So the first definition of the word opinion is an expert formal judgment based on experience, education, or training. An expert formal judgment based on experience, education, or training. And the second definition of the word opinion is an uninformed utterance. So you might look at your own experience, see, your opinions, see, about how to solve problems and alcoholism, see, and the advice that you give and that you get, see, from people in AA. See, and all that. See, there's an awful lot of the second definition stuff, see, being passed around in many of our AA groups these days.
Want to repeat this?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, the first definition is an expert formal judgment based on education, experience, or training. Okay. Now, the doctor's opinion would fit that definition. The second definition is an uninformed utterance. See, and that would be my opinion. Okay, I put a couple of facts about Dr. Silkworth up here on the board. So this is a guy who got his medical degree in the year 1900. He became a neuropsychiatrist in the 1920s. And in 1924, he became the medical director of the Charles B. Towns Hospital, which was in New York. Okay, and Charles B. Towns Hospital was similar. Have you all heard of the Betty Ford Center? Why have you heard of it? It's called because it's nationally prominent. Well, in the 1920s and 30s, the Charles B. Towns Hospital was nationally prominent. And the guy that wrote what we're about to read, he was the head dude, the medical director, at this nationally prominent place called the Towns Hospital. And after he retired, or actually when he wrote the doctor's opinion, like this pointer. When he wrote the doctor's opinion, he had 38 years experience, see, and he had been medical director for 10 years when he first met Bill, and when he wrote this, it was 38 years. He was asked after he retired how many alcoholics he had actually treated in his career, and he ballparked it. He said between 40 and 50,000. So I just put the low number up here. See, but you might ask yourself, if you worked with one newcomer a day, see, how many days and years would it take for you to hit 40,000? Have that kind of experience. It'd take quite a while, right? Okay, and then he was asked how many of those 40,000 recovered from their alcoholism, and he said about 2% of them. So in Dr. Silkworth's expert formal judgment, alcoholism is about 98% fatal, see, in the cases who have it. See, 98% fatal. Now, a little investigation shows us that that's still pretty much true today, 50 years later, 60 years later. The American Medical Association, 1987, published a statement, said 9 out of 10 people who have alcoholism die without ever even knowing they have it. See, these days. See, so we're talking about something very serious. Okay, now, see, I could say, hey, I got 9 years sober and I'm pretty much hot shit these days, see. So I've got, 25 years drinking experience, see, and I've screwed over 40,000 people in my life, see. None of them have recovered from it, see. That's where my opinions come from, see. Is that kind of experience? It's not based on, see, actual factual knowledge of the disease, see, or how to recover from it. Okay, so you got to ask yourself, whose opinion, see, means more to you? Yours, mine, see, somebody else in AA, see, or the medical facts about the disease, see, of alcoholism, because that's what we're going to look into. Okay, so that's the doctor, and that's what opinion means. Where do you fit in? All right, first word we see is we. Who's the we? First 100 people. We of Alcoholics Anonymous believe that the reader, who's the reader? Put your name there. See, that's me. See, so write your name right there, see? And right away we find out we're not included in the we. See, we're the reader. We're not the we. Okay? So we of Alcoholics Anonymous believe that the reader, that's us, will be interested in the medical estimate of the plan of recovery. Not your plan of recovery. The plan of recovery described in this book. So ask yourself, are you interested in the medical estimate, say, of this spiritual method of recovery? Convincing testimony must surely come from medical men who have had experience with the sufferings of our members. Okay, the word suffer pops up again and again in the book. Okay, and most of us, when we hear the word suffer, we think pain. Anybody think that way? You hear the word suffer, think pain, agony, stuff like that, some of those kind of things. The word suffer means to endure. Okay? If you suffer something, that means you endure it. Okay? So let's ask ourselves, why do people endure, see, pain of disease? Okay? For a very simple reason. They don't have a choice. See? Anyone with a choice would not endure the pain. They would choose not to have pain. True? See? Very simple. Okay? So all diseases operate that way. Someone dies a horrible death, from cancer or something like that. Why do they do that? They choose to do that? See? Or would they choose otherwise if they had the power to choose otherwise? See, that's very simple, isn't it? See, no one would choose, see, to suffer and be in pain for years, die of a disease. See, so we find out just from the word suffer, see, that alcoholism is a disease, see, over which the person who has it has no power, see, of choice. Okay? So, number one, ask yourself, have you suffered or endured a lot of pain and whatever in your life, see, from your drinking and drug addiction, and did you actually choose to do that? See, or would you choose otherwise if you had a choice? Okay? So, experience with the sufferings of our members and have witnessed what? Our return to health. What's the definition of recovery? Return to health. Okay? A well-known doctor, chief physician at a nationally prominent hospital, specializing in what and what addiction? See? What do those two words "and drug" mean? See? What's the real problem? What's he a specialist in? Addiction. See? Alcoholic and drug addiction. And he gave Alcoholics Anonymous this letter. So the first line of the letter, 5 words, to whom it may concern. Take your pen, cross off the word whom, the word it, the word may, and the word concern. Be gone, whom it may concern, and write your name there. See, I used to read this thing as if it said, Dear Occupant. See, just like it was junk mail. See? Maybe some interesting information about whoever it concerns, but it doesn't concern me. See, so we want to put our name there, see, and as we go through this, see, look at it in the sense of this doctor sitting across his desk talking directly to you about the disease of alcoholism. See, ask yourself, are you concerned, see, about the problem that you're facing? Okay? He says, I have specialized in the treatment of alcoholism for many years. How many years? 38 years. He's a specialist. He's not a gynecologist or an obstetrician or an orthopedist, see, who knew a couple of drunks that sobered up. He's a specialist in addiction. In late 1934, I attended a patient. The patient is Bill Wilson, who, though he had been a competent businessman of good earning capacity, was an alcoholic of a type I had come to regard as what? Hopeless. Pine box. Okay. In the course of his 3rd treatment, see, what do we know about treatment? Doesn't work for alcoholics. In the course of his 3rd treatment, he acquired certain ideas concerning a possible means of what? Recovery. As part of his rehabilitation, he commenced, which means began, to present his conceptions. What kind of conceptions were these? Spiritual concepts, see, to other alcoholics, impressing upon them that they ought to do likewise. They should consider doing likewise sometime down the road. They ought to think about maybe helping somebody someday. Okay? Impressing upon them that this is a real selfish program and that they should put themselves first. Okay, what does your book say? Impressing upon them that they must, no musts in the program. Anybody ever heard that? See, let me explain something to you. See, people in Alcoholics Anonymous, we can't hold a gun to anybody's head and make them work the steps. Okay? So there are many voices in AA that say there are no musts in the program. See, that is a lie and it is false. See, but those people have the right, see, to not do the program and come to meetings. See, so when you hear someone say there are no musts in the program, what you need to understand is what they are telling you is that there are no musts in my program. See, the book has the program. See, and it's full of musts and requirements, and we need to be open-minded to that. See, we got many people taking what's called the easier, softer route in AA. See, and so they're going to try and convince you that there are no musts in the program, but there are. Okay, so just be aware of that. So, impressing upon them that they must do likewise, see, with still others. And this has become the basis of a rapidly growing fellowship. There were 100 when the doctor wrote this. Of these men and their families. This man, Bill Wilson, and over 100 others appear to have what? Okay, now there's the medical estimate of the plan of recovery described in this book. In the foreword to the first edition, they made a flat statement. We have recovered. Here is a medical addiction specialist saying, yep, that's true, they have. Okay. He says, I personally know scores of cases. See, he doesn't say I read about or I've seen the statistics on. I personally know scores of cases who were of the type, say, pine box kind of alcoholics, with whom other methods had done what? Failed completely. Say, well, what are other methods? Traditional medicine, psychiatry, psychology, group therapy, self-help, dealing with feelings, on and on and on. See, those are all other methods. Okay. These facts appear to be of extreme medical importance. Now let's ask ourselves a logical question. Why would these facts be of any kind of medical importance whatsoever if this wasn't a disease? See, why would this doctor be interested in it at all? See, if it wasn't a disease. And here's a way you can look at this statement. Do any of you remember the polio epidemics back in the 40s and 50s? A lot of kids were dying of polio and being crippled, and some real tragic things were going on. See, and lots of things happened. I can remember when I was a kid, my mom wouldn't let me go to public swimming pools, and there was a lot of hysteria about polio because of its rapid growth and the fatal nature of it, and the crippling nature of it and all that kind of stuff. And somewhere in 1950, a guy named Jonas Salk, who was a medical researcher, developed a vaccine for polio. And as soon as it was tested and found to be effective, everybody in the United States was down at their local elementary school or clinic, see, getting a needle stuck in their arm. See, and nobody was bitching about that. See, because here was something that was going to prevent, see, the spread of a very devastating disease. See, so the Salk vaccine had extreme medical importance. See, it stopped an epidemic. In today's world, if the government announced or some research lab announced a vaccine for AIDS, how many people do you think would go down and get a vaccination for AIDS? A lot of people, right? See, why? Extreme medical importance. Okay, so here's this doctor, see, who is a specialist in alcoholism, and he's saying what you find in this book is of extreme medical importance. See, what's he basing that on? See, 2% recovery rates, all the alcoholics he's worked with. Okay, so these facts, see, now we're going to see the word fact again in the book. See, what's a fact? A fact is something that is asserted or said to be the truth. See, that's the definition of the word fact. It's something that is asserted or said to be the truth. See, now I can tell all of you that I came here in a Dodge van, and sitting on the ashtray in the front of that Dodge van there is a empty coffee cup. See, so I assert that that's a fact. See, now some of you would believe me and some of you wouldn't believe me. See, but no matter who believed me and who didn't believe me, nobody here would know. See, you wouldn't know one way or the other whether you believed it or whether you didn't. What's the only way you could know? You have to get up, see, off your butt, go out and check it out yourself, right? And you come back and you would know it was the truth. See, and then if somebody else walked in the door, you would know the truth that you could tell them. It wouldn't be a belief. See, once you checked it out for yourself. See, so what is truth? Truth is a verified fact. See, that's all truth is. See, fact is something asserted to be the truth. Truth is, I checked it out for myself. Yep, I know. See, very simple. Okay, so the book is full of facts, things that are asserted to be the truth about alcoholics and the disease of alcoholism and the method of recovering from it. All right, now, if you believe that, what has that got you? Nothing. See, that's why I ask you, don't believe me. See, what do you have to do? Check it out. See, you got to check it out for yourself. That takes an open mind, willingness, honesty. See why those three things are necessary? Okay. See, so these are facts, medical facts. These facts appear to be of extreme medical importance. Because of the extraordinary possibilities of rapid growth inherent in this group, they may mark a new epoch in the annals of alcoholism. The word epoch means a time. And the word annals means history. Okay? So a new time or an era in the history of alcoholism. See, which goes back how far? Well, you can read about it in Proverbs in the Bible, for example, which was written 4,000 years ago. See, you can read about it in spiritual books and ancient literature. See, alcoholism goes back a long way. There's never been, see, a method of recovery from it. See, and so this doctor is saying now there is. See, this is monumentally important. Okay, these men may well have a remedy for thousands of such situations which prove to be true. See, the facts of history verify that. Then he says this extraordinary thing in the last sentence. You may rely absolutely on anything they say about themselves. Okay, now let me ask you, see, if a newcomer walks into Alcoholics Anonymous, can that newcomer rely absolutely on anything you're saying in the meeting? Okay. My first year in AA, newcomers were in danger, see, if they listened to the things I was saying. Because I was lying and being dishonest, and I had my own program, see, and I didn't give a shit who it affected. See, that's how self-centered I was. See, and here's this doctor. He says something very, very extraordinary. You can rely absolutely on anything they say about themselves. See, in other words, if you're an alcoholic and you want to recover from alcoholism, you can take what you find in this book to the bank. See, now whose opinion is that? A guy, 38 years experience, who's worked with 40,000 alcoholics and seen 98% of them die. Says you can take what you find in here to the bank if you want to recover. Okay, very truly yours, William D. Silkworth, M.D. The physician who at our request gave us this letter has been kind enough to enlarge upon his views in another statement which follows. in this statement, he confirms what we who have, what's the next word? See, endured, no choice, suffered alcoholic torture, must believe. What's must mean? No musts in the program, right? See, we must believe. See, what must we believe? That the body of the alcoholic is quite as abnormal as what? His mind. Okay, so ask yourself, are you open-minded, see, to finding out, see, that you're abnormal? Right? And see, we have this problem, see, with certain words in the book, and I want to show you what the problem is. So if you would, just close your eyes. All right, now I'm going to say a word. Tell me what picture pops into your mind. See? Not another word, but what picture pops in your mind when you hear the word abnormal. What does an abnormal human being look like?
Elephant man.
Huh?
Elephant man.
Yeah, everybody got some kind of elephant man, weird, deformed, see, hunchback kind of guy. See, so we all carry around a dictionary, see, in us. See, and we read the book. See, and we come across a word like abnormal. See, that picture, that dictionary, boop, boop, and it's gone. See, and we just pass on and never notice that that word meant us. Okay, so see, whatever picture you got, see, probably is included as abnormal, but that's not the, see, a picture is not the definition. See, the word abnormal has very simple meaning. See, in the context that is being used here, medical context, what does it mean? Different. Doesn't mean bad, deformed, hideous, weird, stupid, even ignorant. Doesn't mean any of those things. See, it means different, somehow different. See, so the alcoholic, and if you are an alcoholic, see, you need to start to be open-minded. Is it possible that my mind and my body are different, see, from other human beings who can drink alcohol safely? See, and if you're into a lot of drugs, you probably know some social drug users. How come they can do it socially and I can't? There's something is different. Remember, this is a textbook. In textbooks, 1 + 1 = 2, 2 + 2 = 4. Fact. The alcoholic, see, must come to an understanding that the body of the alcoholic is quite as abnormal, simply meaning different. Get your judgments and pictures off of it, as his mind. Did not satisfy us to be told that we could not control our drinking. Anybody in here have an inability to control your drinking? Besides me. Okay? Okay, so it didn't satisfy us to be told we could not control our drinking just because. Now, here are things that we get told in recovery houses and treatment centers and by therapists. See, that it's our attitude. We're maladjusted to life. That's our problem. Maladjusted to life means you're giving the finger to everybody. See, even if it's with a smile on your face, don't tell me what to do. See? Anybody in here besides me been maladjusted to life? See? Have a hard time listening? See, and that, yeah. Okay, see, so, that's not the problem. See, even though it's true, I am maladjusted to life. See, I got a lousy attitude. That's not why I can't control my drinking. Okay, that we were in full flight from reality. See, famous recovery house treatment center words. Get real. Get real. See, that kind of stuff. Anybody know those kind of words? See, anybody? All right, do you have some experience of being in full flight from reality? I do. See, drunk all the time? I'm out of here. Okay. See, or we're outright mental defectives. I didn't want to know that about myself, but I began to take my inventory. See, and it was very clear to me that I ran my life out of my head. I always have. This has been headquarters for me. All the plans, all the solutions to problems, everything comes right out of headquarters. See, and I look at my experience in life, nothing worked. See, so that tells me that there's something wrong here. See, I'm not stupid. I've never been stupid. See, and once I began to understand this, I began to see that maybe there was an answer to this question that had plagued me all my life, which is, I'm not a stupid human being, and yet why do I do stupid things over and over and over and over and over again? See, maybe there's something wrong that I have never been aware of, and I might need to become aware of. Okay, so here's these three things. Maladjusted to life, full flight from reality, outright mental defectives. See, you can go solve those problems, see, and still end up drunk. See, that's not it. And yet, many of our groups, that's what everybody wants to talk about. See, but that ain't it. See, it didn't satisfy us to be told we could not control our drinking just because of those things. Right? It says these things were true to some extent. In fact, to a considerable extent with some of us. They were about 100% true in me. You can look at your own experience. See, but we are sure that what? our bodies were sickened as well. Remember, this is a textbook, so we're going to start at the bottom. See, the body is sickened as well. In our belief, any picture of the alcoholic which leaves out this physical factor is what? Incomplete. And if your understanding is incomplete, well, I don't have that up there anymore. See? If you don't completely understand the nature of the problem, see, what results you think you're going to get from any solution you implement based on an incomplete understanding of the problem. Everybody know the term half measures avail us? Nothing? Okay, so an incomplete understanding of the problem will lead to an incomplete solution. Okay, see, so we need to be open-minded, say, start at the basics. Now, see, the world and treatment and all that is pretty much infected with all kinds of incomplete understanding about the disease of alcoholism. Before I give you a good example, you ever heard the term mood-altering drug? Anybody ever heard that term? It's pretty common out there in treatment line, mood-altering drug. Have you ever taken a drug, see, that altered your mood and didn't alter your body? Doesn't exist. Ever taken a drink that altered your mood and didn't alter your body? See, all drugs, all alcohol, see, affect both the mind and the body simultaneously. All of them. See, all you got to do is look at your own experience. See, so simply the term mood-altering drug is a half-truth. It muddies the waters. See, it keeps people from fully understanding what's going on. See, the statement here is very clear and very meaningful. See, in our belief, any picture of the alcoholic, see, any term about alcoholism, which leaves out this physical factor, is incomplete. The doctor's theory that we have what? An allergy to alcohol interests us. All right, now, just close your eyes. What's an allergic person look like? Everybody's got their own definition, see, but the picture we carry around is sneezing and runny noses and coughing and all that kind of stuff. See, we need to be to broaden, see, our definitions of things, see, which are limiting our ability to understand the disease. See, an allergy it's a disease process, and it means any abnormal reaction to a substance. We are talking about the substance alcohol. See, also, it holds true for drugs also. See, it's any abnormal reaction. All right, now let me give you an example if I can find. You got a cigarette lighter that works? Okay. Okay, can you see the flame from the back? Okay, there's only two reactions that a human being can have to a hot flame. Okay, the first is a normal reaction. Your hand comes in contact with the heat and it pulls away. See? And you might notice that, see, the word reaction, see, is some kind of involuntary thing, see, that happens without the consent of the mind. The mind is not involved in a reaction. See, there isn't any choice or anything when it comes to a reaction. It's just the body goes, boop. See, that's dangerous. See, and it reacts to the heat. See, now what would the abnormal reaction to the flame be? Now, if I kept my hand there and had an abnormal reaction, would I suffer? See, and if I just kept doing this, see, a lot of really tragic consequences could come from it. See, right at first it's just a little heat, but if I kept doing this, see, I could get blisters, infections, gangrene, I could lose my arm, it could literally kill me. That one little flame, see, if I had an abnormal reaction, see, to it. So there's only two reactions you can have. One is normal, the other is abnormal. See, now, if I was someone, see, who had an abnormal reaction, does that mean I'm stupid? No. Does it mean I'm weird? See, bad, judgeable, morally deficient, or anything? No. It just means, see, there's something strange going on in here. See, that produces an abnormal reaction. Okay, now the doctor has a theory that the alcoholic has, see, an abnormal physical reaction to alcohol. Okay, 1 + 1 = 2. Everybody got that? Okay. The doctor's theory that we have an allergy to alcohol interests us. Thanks, sir. As laymen, our opinion, see, my uninformed utterances, see, our opinion as to its soundness may of course mean little. See, who gives a damn what I think? See, I'm a drunk. I was drunk for a quarter of a century. See, but this doctor, see, what he says, see, makes some sense. See, but as ex-problem drinkers, we can say that his explanation makes good sense. It explains many things for which we cannot otherwise account. Though we, who's the we? Verse 100. What's the word after we? Work, all right? It's not attend, it's not deal, it's not hug, it's not love, it's not figure, it's not think. See? It's none of those. We work out our solution on the spiritual. See? That is a spiritual awakening, see, which is brought about as a result of the steps, see, as well as an altruistic plane. See? Please put the definition of the word altruism in your book. See? Altruism means the unselfish concern for the welfare of other human beings. The unselfish concern for the welfare of other human beings. One more time. Altruism means the unselfish concern for the welfare of other human beings. Okay, so if you're new in Alcoholics Anonymous, a litany that you're going to hear, see, if you go to a lot of meetings, is this is a selfish program. Wrong. See, not according to our book about the program of recovery. See, so once again, see, people have a right to say whatever they want to say, see, but what they generally mean is my program is selfish. See, I'm doing this for me. See, but our book doesn't talk that way at all. See, we work out our solution on spiritual as well as an altruistic plane. We favor hospitalization for the alcoholic who's very jittery or befogged, meaning what? Detox? Everybody familiar with the word detox? More often than not, it is imperative. Imperative means important times 5. Okay? It is imperative that a man's brain be cleared before he is approached. You might underline the word approach. See, the book talks about recovered alcoholics approaching unrecovered alcoholics. See, all the way through the book. See, and yet another thing that's happening in Alcoholics Anonymous is we sit around and we say the newcomer needs to reach out. See, well, that's not the original program of Alcoholics Anonymous. See, recovered people, try to approach unrecovered people and carry a message to them. Okay, so Maine's brain be cleared before he is approached, as he then has a better chance of doing two things. See, the first is understanding, see, and the second is accepting what we have to offer. But who's the we? See, and what they have is a clear-cut, precise spiritual method of recovery. So we get all hung up, many times trying to admit that we are alcoholics. But there are some things that have to go on before we can admit that. The first thing that has to go on is an investigation. An investigation, leads us to learn the facts, and that brings us to an understanding, of what this is all about. The understanding allows us to accept, either the truth of it or the not truth of it. And once that acceptance has occurred, then step one can be taken. So there's really a bunch of work that's got to go on before the first step. All you got to do is look at your own experience. Can you admit things you don't understand? Do you admit to them? If Ralph pulled out an Uzi, and came over here and stuck it in my left ear, and told me that I had to get down on my knees and recite the Our Father 42 times, I'd probably do that if I was convinced that he was going to pull the trigger. But I wouldn't accept it. I would do it, but I wouldn't accept it. So what would I be doing? I'd be resigned, that I had to do it, but no acceptance would go on. And a lot of us are sitting in AA, we're resigned. We're not admitting Jack. We're not accepting Jack. We're just resigned. Oh, shit. Look and see if you've ever had that attitude. I'm an alcoholic. I got to hang around with these losers. I got to go to goddamn meetings. Rest of my natural life. Oh, shit. Oh, God, but everybody's going to hate me if I show that. So, hey, I'm having fun in sobriety. Hey, let's dance. Give me a hug. All that kind of that. It becomes real phony. So we need to investigate. Leads to an understanding. Once we have an understanding, we can accept. Once we investigate it, understand, and accept, then we can take the first step, which is admit that we're powerless over alcohol. Does that make sense to you? Sure. Okay, what we have to offer, is what we're going to find in the book, and if you've been around a while and never read the book, what you're going to see a lot of things in the book that seem to contradict things that you've heard in meetings. You got to be open-minded. Okay, the doctor writes, the subject presented in this book seems to be of no importance whatsoever to those who drank a lot. Is that what your book says? Fake it till you make it, bud. You'll be all right. Take what you like, leave the rest. Doesn't say that, does it? The subject presented in this book seems to me to be of paramount means above everything, importance to those afflicted with alcoholic what? All right, now looking at that sentence, See, is the alcoholic an addict? You bet. See, alcoholic is just as much an addict as any junkie you ever saw on the street. Oh no, get that out of here, take that information to Narcotics Anonymous. We don't want that in our meeting. Oh no. Not me, I'm not an addict. So, whose opinion is that? It's not mine, I didn't make this up. I learned it from this book. Blew me away to find out I was an addict. See? Afflicted with alcoholic addiction. The word affliction, see, is always applied to diseases and disease processes. Have you ever heard someone say, well, I woke up this morning, I was afflicted with happiness and joy? No. See, the word has nothing to do with good stuff. See, it always has to do with diseases and pain and suffering, afflictions. See, afflicted with alcoholic addiction. If you're afflicted with something, see, do you have a choice? Do you have power? No. See, in the same sense, people don't have a choice in multiple sclerosis, AIDS, cancer, any of that. Okay? So ask yourself, can you admit, remember it's a textbook, that you're an addict? See, whether you do drugs or not? Afflicted with alcoholic addiction? Okay? I say this after many years' experience as medical director, see, of one of the oldest hospitals in the country treating what and what. Could this be any clearer? See, what have we done with this information in AA? We just shoved it out the door somewhere. Oh no, get those goddamn addicts out of my meeting. See? And everybody has to leave. See, including the person who made the statement. I've read this in meetings. People get up, they get mad, they walk out. Get out of here, you belong in the... Okay, there was therefore a sense of real satisfaction when I was asked to contribute a few words on a subject which is covered in such masterly detail in these pages. Amazing statement, see, for a man with his education and training. To say that this book, written by 100 drunks, all of whom had less than 4 years of sobriety, see, was the most incredible document on the statement on the disease and recovery from alcoholism that he had ever seen in his entire career. Amazing statement. None of them with any training, none of them with any education about this. Okay. We doctors have realized for a long time that some form of moral psychology was of urgent importance to alcoholics, but its application means doing it, they presented difficulties beyond our conception. So, what does all that mean? Treating alcoholics, the medical profession was pretty aware that alcoholism was a disease, and especially Dr. Silkworth. He knew that there was a certain kind of hopeless alcoholic, who always drank again. Other people came in with drinking problems, they sobered up and led happy lives. But there was a certain kind of alcoholic for whom he nor any other medical or psychiatric treatment worked. So they were aware of the problem, and what he's saying is we tried to figure this out. We kept trying to do something for those people. They'd go out the back door of this hospital, turn right, go to the first liquor store, and get drunk, and sooner or later they'd be back at the front door, screwed up again. And all these other people got well, and we're trying to figure out what we could do for them, and we don't know. Don't have a clue. We just know there's a problem. Okay. It says, what with our ultra-modern standards, our scientific approach to everything, we are perhaps not well equipped to apply the, underline the next three words, powers of good. See, that's his first reference, to something spiritual, something non-human. The powers of good, which lie where? Outside our synthetic knowledge. What's synthetic knowledge? Well, that's our theories and philosophies, that we put together based on everything we've looked into, up to any given point in our life. And in the term that, and the way he's using it, he's talking about medicine, psychiatry, universities, libraries, counseling, all of it. It's all man-made stuff, And he's saying that there is some spiritual power, some power of good that lies outside of anything man-made, anything man thought up. Many years ago, one of the leading contributors to this book came under our care in this hospital. And while here, he acquired some ideas, which he put into practical application after he'd got his self-confidence back, gone to 90 meetings, learned how to love himself, got a sponsor, had 42 phone numbers, dealt with his feelings. Is that what your book says? What does your book say? What are the last two words in the sentence? What does that once mean? RFN.